And we're back. We're back. Hey, guys. Old Man G here, back again. RDS, back again. For another late night stream. It's our weekly Q&A that we do where, by all means, ask any questions. Can be United related, football related, me related, anything like that. It is a relaxed Friday night show. Obviously, we're going to be doing a bit of a film preview and then sort of delving into the sort of ongoing United crisis. But if you are new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, WeAreUnitedX, and smash that notification button for latest Manchester United news and more. Big up to people watching in the chat. Shout out to I think Daniel, who says that do not know why fans want Ten Hag out with no structure. Top must be fixed. Then talk about the manager. I agree. Big up RDS says Stephanie. And Stephanie says we have to get 2 clean sheets on next 2 games, stand any chance of winning. Just can't see us scoring more than 1 or 2 goals. Exactly. I mean, I've said this for a while now that the biggest issue, people want to talk about the defense, how we concede, etc. But the biggest issue is our lack of goal scoring threat. Because the reality is that if we can't score goals, you're always going to give the opportunity to cause problems. The opposition are not scared of our attackers anymore, so so of course they can commit more players forward, do different things. Like it's sad. Big up AD. Don says Erik 10. Hagen does is melting. I mean, we're going to talk about it because at the end of the day, it's not looking good for him. He's got to get a win from somewhere, and when you're playing Fulham. You got the next 2 games of Fulham away. Fulham, who are trash and who are also struggling to score goals, and Luton at home. There's really no excuse not to beat both of those 2 teams. Fulham shouldn't be a goal threat, quite frankly, to United when they can't score. Maybe they'll score 1 goal. And Luton, enough said. I'm sorry, Luton Stadium is a terrace house. So you should be getting at least 6 points in his next 2 games. Everton away looked like they might have turned a bit of form, so that might be a bit tricky. But again, we'll see what happens with that. And then obviously you have Copenhagen away as part of that. But we're here to just talk about Fulham, and we're here to obviously talk about the current United crisis. Obviously, like I said, guys, get your questions in. This is mostly a lighthearted Q&A type thing. So ask away. Obviously, I wasn't here to react to the diabolical Carabao Cup exit. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not that. I wasn't. I was assuming based on the performance, but if I was perfectly honest, I didn't particularly want United to be in the Carabao Cup anyway. I know people will say we should compete with tons of trophies, yada yada, but at the end of the day, United have issues with injuries. We have an injury crisis right now. I don't see the justification for playing more games. If we finish outside the top 5 and we get a Carabao Cup, will people still say we've had a good season? No. So, and the reality is a lot of teams are only playing, likes of Spurs, Liverpool, etc. Only playing, well, not Liverpool, except in Europa League, but certainly Spurs, only playing 1 game a week. Chelsea only playing 1 game a week. So I just feel like I think United fans have got to be realistic. What is it? What was the expectation going into the season? Were we going to win the Champions League or Premier League? No. So then it was a question of, okay, maybe we can get top 4 and get a trophy. In which case, why does it have to be the Carabao and FA Cup? Why could not be, for example, the FA Cup, for example? So personally, it was disappointing. And obviously it's disconcerting, especially because I think a lot of people said, drop Rashford, drop Bruno. I mean, I saw a lot of United fans very, very happy about the lineup that Ten Hag put out, and we still lost. We didn't play Rashford or Bruno. Amrabat was in the midfield. Garnacho, Martial, Højlund. I think Højlund was playing, and yet we still lost. So the issue at Manchester United right now, Big Up Rajat says, is that this situation is quite complicated. It's quite a complicated situation at Manchester United, and will that situation be? Because for those of you who know the channel, I like to try and be level-headed. There are a lot of channels out there that are going to be like Ten Hag out on this, on the rest of it. To be honest, if for those OG people who watched me for a while, if you actually watched me for a while, I kind of called this of sometime after Ollie getting sacked. I kind of did call it. Because of the emotion and the reaction, people like, yeah, look at what the football that Ten Hag is going to do. Look at this, look at that. He's more experienced. He's going to do really well. So I was like, let me just wait and see what happens when it comes into the system, because we've been here before. I'm not going to say I've been proven right, but I just find it ironic that a lot of the and I'm not saying that I think Ollie shouldn't be sacked. I'm not saying that at all, but I just think that a lot of the loudest Ollie outers who were pro Ingers are now the loudest Ten Hag outers. They don't kind of see the irony in that, and they're now going to be talking about, oh, get De Zerbi in, oh, get this in, because again, using the same logic, oh, look at what he's doing at Brighton, or look at what such and such. It's like you don't kind of see the pattern here, you don't see the pattern. Just so just think about it for a second. Just think about it is all I'm saying. David T says, I have been made a meme, but I do believe we can turn this around. Amsa came on and looked much better. Get a few injured players back. And yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I've said quite a few times. It's like, I would like to see Manchester United with the key thing with our starting back lineup. That's Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Lisandro, and Varane. And then with a functional midfield. Because for me, the midfield is the big issue right now. Amrabat is okay, but as I've said several times on this channel, I've yet to really see any of the players that the midfielders we brought in being better than Fred. From what I've seen so far, that could change, but Mount and Amrabat have not shown me anything that says that they're better than Fred. Fred is better than Fred is better. In fact, Fred is a combination of both, because Fred's defensive work was okay. And he had the tenacity to always chase the ball and press up high at the field that people say that Mount does. So for me, Fred combined both Mount and Amrabat. I'm not saying he was good, but if you're going to get rid of him, you got to get better than Fred. And as far as I can see, none of them are in my personal opinion. So that midfield has to change. And to be honest, I'm hoping for me, the last hope right now in the season is on Kobbie Mainoo. And I know that's sick saying that I'm relying on Kobbie Mainoo, but I almost feel like from what limited stuff I saw, he's the only one that could potentially bring some balance to that side in terms of pace, in terms of being able to come to the ball. So that's my only thing. So maybe you play Amrabat, Mainoo, Casemiro, Mainoo, and then Eriksen, for example, in front, and that might work. For me, he's the only player that I can see right now. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about Donny van der Beek because he's there, and I don't really understand why. And I've said this several times. I don't really understand why. I'm not saying he's amazing, but I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know. If these Glazer jokers are to go down a player manager route to stop Blair Power, who out of the current crop, I said crop would be the best option, and would Ronaldo and De Gea be returning? Oh, so it's a question. Yeah, get the questions in, guys, please. Because I say this is a Q&A, so it's a mini rant, but it's mostly just a light-hearted, chill Q&A because I like Friday nights to be relaxed and a bit more positive, So because it's the end of the week, a lot of people are starting the weekend, tired from the work, so let's just kind of relax and chill and have positive vibes. So positive vibes to the community. So Stephanie's question is like, who would make a good player manager? Or would Ronaldo De Gea be returning? Ronaldo would. I just think Ronaldo would be an awful manager. I just think he would be an awful manager. I think that because with what he wants and he expects players to be, would maybe have worked maybe 15 years ago, but not now. And I think that's the problem, is that like Ronaldo is of a different generation of player where, whatever you say about him, it's all about he had to work ridiculously hard to get where he had to be. A lot of players now, as soon as they get their big contract, they're sorted, they're fine. They're like, yeah, I got my contract, it's all good, and they don't feel like they have to push to improve. So I think Ronaldo would be frustrated with that. De Gea is been a goalkeeper, and to be honest, I don't know an example of a goalkeeper or an ex-goalkeeper becoming a manager, unless someone can name me some examples. Who would be a good manager out of the current? That's a good question. Who would maybe the first managerial candidate? Right now, based on the squad, I gotta say, for some reason, Varane gives me managerial vibes. So maybe Varane might be good. Varane, I think might be good. The others, I don't think so. So Varane's the only one, I think, out of the current crop. And nothing would surprise me with Glazer United. No, they probably will bring an interim back. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Ollie came back or like Lampard, for example. Remember, Lampard came back twice for Chelsea. So Ollie could come back. Ollie would be happy to come back. Or another interim. We're in a rebuild, which takes seasons. We just have to swallow this. Exactly. Unfortunately. Because at the end of the day, if you sack him, and I keep on saying this, if you sack him, you're just doing the same thing over again. Like, and the reality is that this is the thing. It's like when Pep came to City, right? He was given carte blanche, which basically means heart you go, this player goes, this player goes, this player goes, and that was that. That's not going to happen at Manchester United. So any new manager that's going to come in is like, okay, yeah, they'll get a certain amount of players. They'll get maybe 3, maybe 4 players, maybe. Obviously, don't know about the investment with the takeover, etc. But they're going to have to use the players that Ten Hag has signed. Because Antony isn't going anywhere. So he's going to have to use Antony. A lot of these players, maybe Casemiro like that are coming towards the end, probably not, but certainly for the big signings, he's got to use them. Question: what matters to you, director of football, second manager? Oh yeah, of course. You have the structure. The structure is the most important thing. But the thing is that like sacking the manager is the easiest short-term fix. But we know that long-term fix is the main issue. But people want a short-term fix. But to be honest, I can't remember the last time it worked. Like only time it worked was under Solskjaer, when you got the positivity when we sacked was it Jose mid through and then got Solskjaer. And then you obviously had, you know, the miracle in Paris and so on. But at the end of the day, at the end of the season, we still finished trophyless and we still finished 5th or 6th, I can't remember. So in the grand scheme of things, like it didn't actually work out really in a way in terms of achievement. But because he was doing so well, it was like, okay, fair enough, give him a job, let's see what he does. But, you know, Solskjaer got sacked and then Ragnar came in. It lasted for a few games and then it went to pot. So I don't really see, there isn't really a precedent at United right now that getting a new manager or any new manager right now comes in and they just turn things around. There's no precedent. And I don't trust the Glazers to make that decision, unfortunately. Amrabat runs like he's holding a shit. I'm not sure. He's a lot slower than I thought. Big up to Rasmus, man. It's crazy. We're depending on mainoo, but we have the depth to help him develop. But unlike Erasmus, who has only exactly. Only average players usually go on to be great managers. I mean, I think you're right. I think the exception is probably Zidane, who obviously was an amazing player and obviously became a good manager. But you're right. I can't think of any other managers that have done that. So I'd be very surprised if Messi's and Manos came to the management. Although, saying that, Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen is doing pretty well, and he was obviously a solid player. Is Xavi doing well at Barca? He's doing better than I thought he would. He would. So maybe you should give him his kudos there. Yeah, those are probably the 3 in my mind that I can think of. I would say. Big up Thomas says like, share, and subscribe to everyone. Rajit says, how long has Manchester United been building for? It doesn't make much sense. Well, there is that. Ronaldo would be in Mourinho. Exactly. That's what I think he would. Bruno is 29 and his honors list is virtually empty. And these top Reds had the goal to call him cancer. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, he's not that. Yeah, Bruno. You know, I don't think Bruno deserves a lot of the hate that he gets, but to compare him to Cantona is crazy. Yeah, keep those likes up going, guys. Keep those likes up going. Do we get Pedro Gonçalves or Pedro Neto? Pedro Neto, personally, for me, the werewolves are. The fact that Martial, Rashford, Luke Shaw, and Tomlin are going to our last another manager is crazy. It is. Given that all those 4 players, well, 3 of those players were here under Van Gaal. Martial, Rashford, and Luke Shaw were under Van Gaal. McTominay obviously under Jose. You know, it's insane. It really is insane. Yeah. Nuno Santos and Lopetegui were goalkeepers that became. Oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. You're right. I wouldn't rate them necessarily as managers. Although I mean, Lopetegui be probably a bit better, but yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. And guys, I just like the video. Yeah, thanks, mate. So yeah, it's a must. You know, I think that if you want me to put my band's head on, the reality is that Manchester United, and you know, Fabrizio even came out and actually even said that the reality is that United are not in any way going to be sacking Erik ten Hag anytime soon. And I knew they're not because they're trying to like what I think will happen. Here's what I think will happen, right? If you want me to be honest, guys. Sorry, cough. What I think will happen, right, is the 25% situation is going to be accepted at some point with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and that was obviously, for me, whatever anyone says, that's the biggest blow. Not the performances, but the fact that the 25% stake keeps the Glazers at the club, and we say no to Qatar. That's the biggest blow. And there is a small part of me that feels like, was there elements in Ten Hag, in the team, in the managers that was just thinking, wow, we could have had Qatar and gone to another level, but instead we're stuck with Joel and Avram, who are brick merchants. There might be some truth to that. I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But the reality here, at least my opinion, is that I think once the situation is ratified, Ratcliffe presumably, because obviously they're talking about the fact that he's going to be making investments in the stadium, he wants sporting control, these different things. So I think when that happens, then you may or may not get managerial change. And I suspect that won't happen until the end of the season. So I would be very surprised if it'll probably be ratified. I highly doubt, though, that it'll be ratified enough that it'll influence January transfers. So I suspect that any long-term decision on the managerial situation is going to be delayed till the summer, when obviously a director of football comes in, how they work with Ten Hag, how they see the vision of club being, how they're going to play, blah, 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 blah. And then based on that, we'll decide whether Ten Hag is going to stay or not. So essentially, in sum, what I'm saying is that Ten Hag probably isn't going to get sacked until the end of the season, when United do or do not qualify for Champions League. And the reality is that, I mean, it's even easier this year because it should be fifth. But I'm looking at United right now, and I just don't see how they get fifth. Spurs are better than City are better, Arsenal are better, Spurs are currently better, and Liverpool are better. So for me, the top four, unless like Spurs get tons of injuries, the top four is fairly cemented. If the Spurs or Liverpool get tons of injuries, the top four is fairly cemented. Fifth is where you go for it. And the reality is Newcastle showed that they're a superior team to us in every way. They dominated us away in St James's Park towards the end of last season. And then they came with their B team and dominated us at Old Trafford. So Newcastle, for me, are at least the fifth best team, at least in the league. And then you have, the Villas, the West Hams, the Brightons, etc. But to be honest, I think that, yeah, they'll do okay. But I think that a combination of injuries as well as additional games, I think they'll drop points and stuff like that. So they'll probably be around it. So essentially, can United get top five? Possibly, but they're gonna have to go on a run. They're gonna have to go on some form of a run to get there. Otherwise, we're in major doo-doo. And if you're the Glazers, it's kind of ironic that you're saying, yes, we deserve 6 billion. Look at the Manchester United brand, it can get bigger, bigger, bigger. But at the end of the day, people are seeing a situation where your club is failing to qualify for Champions League yet again. That is going to devalue the club even further. So, these are the things. At least it's the way that I see it. But let's move on to Fulham, because I've been talking a bit more about United and the crises and all the rest of it. But let's actually talk about the Fulham preview. So I'm going to quickly just sort of go through Ten Hag's press conference on Manchester United evening news, I think. So I'm going to just quickly what we're going to do here is we're going to do this. Awesome. Yeah, okay. Hopefully everyone can see it. If you can't see that, let me know. I'll change the screen settings. But this is what we're going to do anyway. So, sorry, 2 seconds, everybody. So let's scroll up. So okay, so just a few comments on the press conference. And sorry, Toman says they won't get managers. I do agree. Yeah. Ten Hag on team news. Varane is ready to play, so that's good. He will travel with the squad. Victor Lindelof has some illness, and we'll have to see if he's ready for tomorrow. So there are a lot of players that are having, like, that's one thing I've noticed. There are a lot of players that have had illnesses. Is there some bug going around the squad? Like, we've had more injuries, but we've had more illnesses in this squad than usual. I don't know what's going on, or whether it's winter time or something, or flu, or I've got no idea. But that's something that's been going on for a bit as well. But yeah, Varane playing as a boost. I suspect, based on that news, then it'll be Varane, Maguire coming in. I would suspect, so as to not risk Lindelof. But Varane is ready to play, which is a good sign. Ten Hag on character. He says, "Remember the fight we showed against Brentford? If there wasn't some spirit of characters in the dressing room, you couldn't do this." It's true. Okay. These are just key events, by the way. Ten Hag on style of play. I came here with my philosophy. Okay, so this is key. I came here with my philosophy based on possession, but also to combine it with the DNA of Manchester United, but also with the players and their character. We combined it last year and we played very good football last season. I'm not sure about that, but okay. I want to play from the back, and we try that in every game. But like against Man City, if they are good at pressing, it's a good option to go direct. Is that what you try to do? We want to press, then go direct, because we have the players who are very good at it. Like who? Like who? Because this is a weird paragraph, because basically you said that you wanted your source is based on possession, but also kind of DNA, which so because in a roundabout way, what he's saying is that I had my philosophy at Ajax. I had to abandon my philosophy because of the DNA at Manchester United, but also the players that I had. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. But I could be wrong. Let me know in the chat. But that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he came to United and realized, I can't play my possession style of football. I've got to combine it with the United way and also the players I have in the squad. You know, that's what it sounds like to me. No star criticism again. I don't want to say that. That's too strong. The intention is clear, but the execution isn't there. In the moment we're in, with so many changes, we can't line up the same game each time, and we have to swap. We miss players in the back four, and every time we have to adjust, which doesn't help the routines. And that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Ten Hag on player mood. The players are positive. They want to put this right, and we know the standards here. We have to match them every day. We've had two big setbacks. We'll fight back. The dressing room is strong. The staff are strong, and this manager is strong. Okay, fighting words. Is tomorrow a must win? I never think of such scenarios. We have to win every game. We prepare very good, and I'm sure the players are ready tomorrow to execute. Well, they better. They better. On Ratcliffe investment, I have a good squad. Do you? I'm convinced about the players in the dressing room. We saw these players last year. They can do a lot better, but that's up to me to let them play better. I have to take responsibilities to let them play better, and I'll put every effort to get this done. I'm not thinking about transfer windows because I have a good squad. That sounds like Glazer speak to me. That sounds a lot like Glazer speak to me. Because you know, I cannot believe that you're happy with your front line, your striker output. You know, your front line combined has one goal, and we're now in November. Since the beginning of the season, your front line has one goal, and you can't tell me you're happy with that. I'm sorry. He's saying that he can't play his philosophy because the squad isn't good enough. Yeah, that's what I think he's saying. He's saying it in a way that doesn't discredit the team. But that's for me what he's saying. That for me is what he's saying. What else? Ten Hag on being hard to beat. I think the players are hard to beat. Well, they're not, because we had 2 back-to-back 3-0, so they're not that hard to beat. Sorry, Erik. In this moment, obviously, with such 2 defeats, we didn't show it, but I'm convinced in the long term they'll be hard to beat and they know how to do it. Well, where are clean sheets, Erik? Where are clean sheets? That's a wrap. Now, apparently there was some, I don't know, someone said there's some news that mainoo might be available. I don't mention it, but maybe it's another portion of the of the press conference. I'm not entirely sure, but there is suggestion that I think kobbie mainoo might be available as part of the squad, which would be useful, and we'll take things from there. Right, just moving on to the predicted starting 11. So let me just get the formation generator out, and let me see what people think. So let's get that here. Hope everyone can see that. And we'll come to here. Let's go. So let's see, based on who. Let's just see. Let's just see. Ten Hag has that the Glazers sweating on that end. Ten Hag has the Glazers sweating on that the NDA clause. Probably David T. Probably. So let's look. Let's look. This is obviously stuff. Hopefully everyone can see what I'm seeing. So let's see what the starting lineup's going to be. Now, I think he'll obviously go. Obviously, Onana's going to be in goal. That's not going to change. Given Lindelof's illness, I suspect he'll probably go Varane and Maguire again. That's what I think. It's so funny, man, how Maguire was supposed to be out. He was like Ten Hag's 5th choice. Like, think of it. It's mad. Like, Maguire was Ten Hag's 5th choice centre back behind Varane, Lisandro, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, and then it was Maguire. And now Maguire's getting regular game time, despite being 5th choice centre back. There you go. That just shows you the state of Manchester United Football Club, really. So yeah, so Maguire and Varane. I imagine he's gonna play, because we don't have to. Unlike, I don't know, Newcastle and even City, to worry about pressing against the likes of Fulham. We shouldn't be worrying about pressing against the likes of Fulham. So I would say that he'll probably put. Well, it's interesting. I think he might, because I think Wan-Bissaka is available. So I think he might, assuming that his it's a good one to start. Get Aaron on. Get Aaron on. And if I was Ten Hag, I would start, because you can't play. He needs some minutes. Maybe don't play him for the whole thing, but he needs some minutes for me, because I feel that we need Wan-Bissaka to play against Galatasaray away. We need Wan-Bissaka to play against Galatasaray away. We need that. I need Wan-Bissaka to lock Zaha and pocket him. So we need to give Wan-Bissaka some game time personally. If he's not fit, obviously Dalot can come in, but he gets some game time. And then, speaking of Dalot, I think you put Dalot at left back. So play Dalot. So this is what it should be. And then obviously Reguilon can come in and supplement whatever. So we have a fullback on the bench. That's what I would do. Casemiro is out, so he's going to miss Fulham, as we know. So you're going to have to play Amrabat here, who really needs to do better, personally. But he'll start, and you only need to play him as the holding. Now here's where, for me, this is what I would do. Maybe Ten Hag might suggest it. I don't know, but you bring in mainoo. You bring in mainoo. You bring in mainoo. You bring him in. he obviously can play the CDM role, but obviously can go further forward. Just these are the games. This for me, this game and Luton away are the games you've got to bring in mainoo win, because these are two teams that are not that great. When else you're going to give him an opportunity? And attacking wise, they shouldn't be a threat. So, and like on top of that, if we do have to protect the back four, he can slot in alongside Amrabat, no problem. So for me, we bring in mainoo. I trust mainoo more than I do Hannibal, to be honest. I'm not averse to Hannibal, but that's what I would do. Then as CM, I'm torn between Eriksen and Mount, if I'm perfectly honest. The issue of Eriksen is just his lack of legs, to be honest. But Eriksen is someone who he's just under legs, and to be honest, I think is much better coming on the bench during the second half. So I wouldn't start Eriksen; I'd bring him on. In which case, then I think that you play, in my opinion, you play Mount. Oh, sorry, I've done the Mount for the pressing, which is what we need. And then right winger, well, he's obviously not going to drop Bruno, so Bruno will play on the right. He's not going to drop him. Rashford is going to be on the left, because again, he's not going to drop him. Going to keep on playing to form despite not scoring goals, and then Højlund. How do you spell it again? That's what I think. The only thing that might change in this starting 11, hope everyone can see that. I think Anthony will play. I'm not sure if Anthony plays. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, you could see a situation where you have Bruno here and then Anthony here. He may play Mount and Bruno to get. I don't know, but I wouldn't recommend that personally. Not when our defense is still quite brittle after seeing 3 goals. If we go ahead with this, then you can bring on Mount later, maybe an Eriksen, etc. I don't really. I mean, Anthony's just been bad, man. He's a flop. He's a flop. He's a flop, man. He's a flop. He's too one-footed. He's not good enough for the team right now. Like, I'm hoping the form, like last season, like he wasn't great at games, but defensively it was okay, and he scored some really good goals. Now, defensively, he's not good, and he's not scoring goals. So what is he actually good at? What is he actually good at? I don't know, but yeah, this is the team that I think United will play against. Score predictions. Let me know in the chat what your score predictions are. Let me know. And obviously, as we begin to round things up, if you have any questions for me, this is a Q&A. You've got about 5-10 minutes, as it were, to ask all of your questions, guys, as we begin to round up, because I'm exhausted. I've had 4 back-to-back night shifts working really, really late. So I'm really, really tired. So I'm going to get an early night's sleep. Obviously, United are playing at 12:30 tomorrow. So early night, wake up, get going. So that's what's going to happen. AD says, "What game are you most looking forward to this weekend?" Probably Chelsea Spurs, to be honest. Probably Chelsea Spurs, yeah. Chelsea Spurs, and then Arsenal Newcastle, in the Premier League anyway. Because those are going to be interesting games. And I also think that if we now if I just have a look at the Premier League table. Yeah. So we're obviously 8th. But, you know, if we beat Fulham, and hopefully we do, you know, and then, for example, Arsenal beat Newcastle, then suddenly, you know, we're above Newcastle in the league. You know, if certain results go your way, you know, Arsenal beat Newcastle, maybe Chelsea beat Spurs. I don't think they will, but, you know, if Chelsea obviously lose to Spurs, I mean, then, you know, what can you do? But essentially, what I'm saying is certain results may potentially go our way. I don't know who Villa playing against. Villa playing against Nottingham Forest. But again, you don't know. Maybe there'll be a draw there. So there's certain results that can go our way where at the end of and remember, guys, I'll be honest, it's top 5. Fifth place is a Champions League. Liverpool playing away to Luton, so you know they're going to win. So that's fine. We're playing Luton next week. So 5th place is the goal. 5th place is the goal. So we need to get to 5th. And if we can, you know, get there, then fine. Hopefully Villa drop points. And then if we win our game, you know, so then suddenly we're, you know, 4 points behind 5th, you know. But that should be, I know that sounds bad, but at the end of the day, United are in a crisis right now. And for me, the goal for Manchester United is securing Champions. It is what it is. Secure Champions League football next season. And hope that when Radcliffe comes in with investment, that there'll be change in the footballing structure. But we need to be in Champions League football next season. And if we lose to Fulham or God forbid Luton, I think it's game over. There's too many points to cover, and then we'll talk about potentially sacking Ten Hag. If he wins his next 2 games, because looking at our record, we have obviously Copenhagen away. You know, although having said that, you know, them scoring goals, they struggled because we beat them just 1-0. But, you know, they struggled to score goals. So we need our strikers to be better and be on point, because I think we can beat them there if we can, you know, score goals. So we should be winning this. Everton away is going to be a bit of a challenge because they're starting to pick up form. So we'll see. And then so these 3 games will be a challenge. Galatasaray away, you hope that Wan-Bissaka's about to pocket Zaha. Newcastle away, I actually think we're going to struggle. Chelsea at home, we'll see. And then you've got Bournemouth at home. So we've got a mixture of games where last season, I might say, you know what, we could win, probably lose, win, and win. So mostly wins, 1 loss. Now I'm like, we should be winning these, maybe draw, possible loss, possible draw, and win. So there you go. That's where Manchester United is, folks. That is where Manchester United is in. Prediction, man, 2-1. Yes. Yeah. I think United will keep a clean sheet here. I'm not sure we'll score 2 goals, but yeah, I'm going to go for a conservative 2-0 victory. 2-0 victory, and hopefully we can kick off and do something. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Follow us on Twitter. We are UnitedX, and smash the notification button so you know when we go live. On the road to 5K subscribers. Going to try and give you more content. Subscribe to my secondary channel. Yes, subscribe to my secondary channel, Red Marvel, because I'm going to be posting a lot more content on Red Marvel in the upcoming weeks, because there's some movies, TV shows, stuff like that coming on. So I'll be posting more stuff there. So please get involved with that. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers. Peace.